All right, so the intensity of an experience is going to determine the speed of effect it has on your system. So let's say that we have experiences over here, and what we have with experiences is in terms of as it relates to intensity. Let's say that it can have an intensity of anywhere from 1 to 100, right? An experience is just like an event that happens. This could be a game, it could be an injury, it could be a conversation, it could be like taking a step. Literally anything could be an experience, right? So if we want to address speed of change, then we want to look at what is it that actually creates the most speed as it relates to change. So let's take an extreme example. If we were to be on top of a building and we were to fall off that building and hit the ground, let's say that this building is 100 feet tall, you're going to die, right? That is going to be a very rapid speed of change with this experience. Okay? Now let's say that you're walking on the sidewalk and you take one step. That's it. That's the experience, is this one step that you take on a sidewalk. That is going to create some level of change, but it's going to be extremely slow, like almost no change, right? So then if we relate this to training, right? Let's take this and relate it to training. And we want to create change as rapidly as possible. That means that the experience that we have in training, which is basically a training session, a game. A game wouldn't be in training, but basically like a training session in the context of what we're talking about. We want the experience of that training session to be as intense as possible. Because the more intense it is, like dropping off the building and dying, obviously we don't want to do that and die, but the more intense it is, the faster adaptation is going to occur. Now, that's with understanding that we need to be able to recover from said experience, because this experience of dropping off the building and dying, our physical body isn't able to recover from that experience. So that experience, if we take that experience and we put it into training, that's not going to be beneficial because that ends our ability to train, right? So what we want to do is we want to make the training session as intense as possible while being able to recover, right? Because that means that we're going to create the greatest speed of adaptation. So we're going to be most efficient within our training, but we're not going to put you to the point where you can no longer recover. So the practical piece to consider with that is look at what it is that you're doing in your training. What is it that you're doing in your training that isn't done in a way that is going to cause some level of change, right? And so a good way to look at or to measure that is if there's ever something that is just repeatedly done over and over and over and over, like it's done in exactly the same way. For me, back in college, I would have the same mobility routine that I do for like 45 to 60 minutes a day, and I had to do it in the same way every single day for my body to feel like it was good. What I understood with that was like, I'm not doing this when I'm doing these exercises, when I'm doing this routine, it's not done with a level of intensity, with enough intensity where it's actually creating some change to where I can come back and do it a little bit different and do it better next time, or I can do something a little bit different next time, right? It was just like it was quote unquote maintenance work. And maintenance work wasn't something that ever actually created change, right? We actually can't maintain. Really all you're doing is like going slowly up and down, and it's just like staying at the same level, but it's just going up and down. So what I found to be more beneficial than something like that is like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it with enough intensity that it actually causes